I would bluntly recommend that L&D staff grow a spine, meaning that if somebody comes to us and says, we need training on X, we do not say, okay. We change the conversation to help the client describe the problem, help the client analyze the problem, help the client see that there are many possible solutions to the problem. And if training is part of that solution, then when we do develop it, it will be much more tied to the business need, because when we're defining that problem, we're also saying, how does that impact the organization? What are we currently measuring that will change, that will improve when our project succeeds?
My top tip for ensuring business impact of our L&D initiatives is to make sure that we get the business involved in the solution and to ensure that they understand what their input into the solution is and the follow-up and so forth that's required.
I think my top tip is understand the problem that you're trying to solve, focus on that, and ensure once you've understood the problem and then develop the solution around it, whatever that may be, ensure that you've got manager buy-in and follow-up, because without managers it's not going to happen.
I've got several, but the one that I really want to say is about leverage. It's about how can you make sure that the thing that you're doing gets the maximum reach. And my way of doing that is by involving as many people as possible, from the management in terms of determining why we're doing this in the first place, but I also involve them in the solution, and I definitely work out loud in the workplace so everybody knows what we're up to and why we're doing it.
I think for me the key thing in making sure that my business L&D initiative is going to be successful is to ensure that an L&D initiative is what is actually required in order to solve the business issue. So it may be in fact that the solution required is totally a learning issue. For example, let's say somebody isn't performing as we would expect them to because they simply don't know how to use a business system or they don't know the business rules. Or in actual fact, it might be for something else. It could be, actually, we're asking far too much of them. They're not achieving what we want to do because they're trying to do everything else. Or even their KPIs are such that there's more weight put on certain key KPIs that don't demand the execution of that particular skill and knowledge. So the first thing to me would be if somebody comes along requesting some learning, sit down, have a conversation with them, ask them what is the business issue or result they're after, and try and tease that out and just establish that in actual fact learning is going to be a solution.
So for recent projects, what we've been trying to do is to run focus groups, and we've been trying to select people from across the business, cross-section of senior members, management, as well as our learners, so that we have a good sense of how they feel and test some of our learning approach early on and continuously throughout the development of the programs. And we found that that's kind of helping us get a gauge on whether things will work or not, or whether we can tweak something or add something on to the whole program to make it work better.
Yeah, one thing I think is really important is getting out into the business and really getting to know who the learners are and the different learner profiles in different business units, so that the solution that you're developing is really, really fit for purpose for that learner group, so that if there are constraints around technology or the way that team works, they've all been taken into consideration. So when the final solution is rolled out, people can reach for it and that doesn't fail them. It works for their environment and they can run with it.
Do you know, I think the most important thing is to really understand your business, and the way in which you do that is to spend time in the business, understand the things that they're working on, understand the challenges that they're working through, and when you get a really good holistic view of what matters to the business, then you're able to really think through how L&D may be an enabler to support them to achieve their outcomes.
Absolutely, that's going to be formative assessment using predictive analytics.
Well, the thing that I suggest people do is to develop a automated follow-up series of emails or other ways of communicating with people, so that for me there's 12 monthly follow-up emails, and this is a great way, and people are able to respond. They let me know that this is good. So this is a very good way of helping the learning get into the business.